all commend the distinguished senators and honor members of the Ninth National Assembly for working so hard, for working in a very bipartisan manner to produce the amendment bill for the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2010 for Mr. President to assent to. It took a lot of effort, a lot of work, commitment and dedication by members of the National Assembly and other stakeholders, those in government particularly, and some civil society organizations. I want at this point commend Mr. President for being there to ensure that any challenge as far as the passage of the appropriation for the Electoral Act Amendment Bill was concerned, he ensured that it didn't stop us from going further to reach the end in a conclusive way. Today marked the most important part of this exercise when Mr. President signed the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2010 into law. For us in the Ninth National Assembly, this is a fulfillment of one of our cardinal objectives in our legislative agendas in the two chambers. And of course, for the administration too, this is one very important piece of legislation that this administration will bequeath to Nigerians, especially when it comes to the electoral environment, where we always feel that we must improve on what we have met, and by the time we leave, the electoral climate must be better in terms of integrity, in terms of transparency, and ensuring that every vote counts. For Nigerians, let me say congratulations to Nigerians. Many Nigerians have shown interest. They remain focused on ensuring that the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2010 becomes a law. And of course, it is a law today. And for INEC, now you have what you need. INEC, you have to produce the best possible electoral exercise, right from probably the Ekiti and Osun off-season elections, and of course in the 2023 general elections. For Nigerians, law is one thing, respect for the law is another thing. No matter how beautiful a law is, if there is no desire, no commitment, and that obligation to ensuring compliance with the law could be less effective and efficient. So I believe that we need to respect the law now that we have an improvement over what we had in the previous years.
The president is asking for amendment. How willing are you?
No, you know, this is a legitimate request, and when I say I commend the president, I will commend him for so many things, but let me also qualify it that even though he had a disagreement with a section, especially clause 84.12, that talks about public political office holders, he still went ahead to sign the bill into law, and that to show his commitment and his commitment and desire to have an electoral law that will ensure that we have better outcomes when we do elections. So we will look at what he's asking. I hope that they will send the request for the amendment in good time because time is of essence. INEC is waiting, and because we don't want to spill over some of these dates unnecessarily, we will be expecting a communication from Mr. President with respect to this, and then the National Assembly in both chambers will look into the request for amendment. But on the whole, I think this is a wonderful, wonderful development for this administration, for Nigeria, for the evolution and development and growth of democracy in Nigeria.
Mr. Speaker, this is the first in 12 years. What new? What's new? What is new that's going to happen to Nigerian electoral environment?
Well, first of all, let me join the Senate President in commending all the stakeholders, starting from the members of the National Assembly, right all the way through to the CSOs, the president, and the general public, the media. It's been a collaborative effort by all stakeholders, students, the youth, and today is a culmination of the work product of all those people put together. I believe it's a landmark piece of legislation, and it has far-reaching, and I mean far-reaching implications of the provisions contained therein. I can count offhand at least 10 to 15 provisions in that electoral law that, if properly executed by INEC and the people who the laws are made for, it will be a turning point in the electoral history of Nigeria. And we will witness and not just be mouthing free, fair elections and credible elections, but we'll actually witness free, fair and credible elections moving forward. So I'm happy. I'm happy that this day has come. It's been long coming, and I'm sure everybody will be happy. I must say that almost just like what the Senate President said, we must give it to this Ninth Assembly, even if we have to toot our horns, in the sense that we're barely 3 years into our tenure. Barely 3 years. We're not even we haven't turned the 4th year yet. Yet, this Ninth Assembly has been able to put on the table for Nigerians landmark legislation, and this is just another one of them. So we have almost over a year left.